Do you guys see it? Do you see it? Do you? Okay, look, I'm gonna go down. I feel like the more I go down, okay, just so you know, I'm looking over here. I have a monitor here, so I can see like if my hair looks like crap. Remember I used to come on here and like half a boob was hanging out? My hair was a big mess. So we got like, my boyfriend set me up with a monitor, right? Which is awesome. But I also like, women will sometimes they'll do that. They'll have a something like, not a monitor, but like something where they can see themselves and they'll be talking to you, or they'll be talking like to the audience and then you see them look over at it. So I always try not to be that person. If you ever see me look over, I'm looking at the time because the timing's up there. But I came on because I was like, okay, I'm gonna go do my last video, right? Actually, I'll show you. I've got this pink straightener right here because, okay, this lighting I use, it's called a Diva light. It's the best lighting. You see everything wrong with you. That's why, look, if there's anything wrong with my face, like remember I burnt my chin? It's still like a little dry. I have to constantly put lotion on it. Probably looks a little darker than the rest of my face. It's fine though, right? I was worried, I'm like, is it gonna blister? But I have this big light that comes on me called a Diva light and it shows everything. So I was doing my hair and I looked and I was like, what is this? What is that? I'm like Alfalfa's dumb cousin, y'all, look at it. And so my boyfriend's like, do you want me to help you with it? Not that like he knows how to do hair. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep it this way because to get through this video and do this video, we're gonna get a little silly because I'm just tired and angry like the rest of you here. Like the rest of you. I'm just totally irritated. My hair can't take it. Nancy, call me. I need your blowout, people. I've never gotten a blowout. So I got an update because you guys are awesome in the comments. Remember Nancy and her blowout? And you guys were in the comments talking about it and you explained it's like going and getting your hair done, but they use special chemicals where it like stays in place for a while so you could not wash it for a few days. And I was like, that sounds nasty. I want it. So this hair needs cut, like dramatically cut. Hopefully here soon we'll be able to do that. It's too long, it's too thick-ish. I know when it's straight and it looks thinner, but like when I get out of the shower and it dries, holy of mother of frizz trailers. That is what it looks like. Hi guys, it's Katie. Welcome to Katie's Insight, where I give my insight on all kinds of things, including my weird rogue hairs, the fact that my boobs hang out sometimes when I do one of these videos, not that I mean for them to. Y'all, it's never intentional. It's just, I'm also, anybody who's ever lost a significant amount of weight, I'm in that in-between phase with my clothes and my bras. So, yeah, but I at least now have monitors so I can see when the trailer park starts coming out at me. Hi to everybody in the trailer park. Hi, y'all. No disrespect. Trailers can be amazing if you do it right and you're around the right people. People's what make everything suck, doesn't it? People's what make everything suck. That is coming from the trailer. Anyways, welcome. Welcome to my insight. I give insight on all kinds of crap, including news, politics, business, finance, entertainment, and right now we have our stimulus finger guns ready, and we are shooting them. We're shooting them right now. Oh my God, Nance and her blowout. She's causing issues. If you saw my videos from earlier, go check them out. Trump has approved a $1.8 to $1.9 trillion package. Nance, good old Nance, blowout Nance. Quiver and Nance is at 2.2. And we heard from her today because we've been waiting to see what the Democrats are going to do or what they're going to say, and we heard from her, and it's every bit as delicious as you think it is. And I decided with this video, I'm going to have, first of all, I'm extremely physically tired right now. So, and it's okay. It's just, you know, the health stuff, it's not a big deal. I'm not in danger or anything, but there are some nights where I just can't get sleep because of certain things that are going on with my health. And I've just been working so hard at this channel because I love what I do and I love you guys and I just want to build it and grow it and give back and do gift card giveaways. But, so I'm super tired, and when I get tired, y'all know me, I get tired or I get angry, I get really silly, right? My silly switch flips on. I always call it drunk tired because that's what it seems like. I get a little bit drunk. But I decided, because I found a really funny video earlier, I was like, to get through this, we're going to have to giggle through it a bit. So first, I want to showcase the first big bit of stimulus news. We have breaking news I want to show you. Let's go to my computer. There's no sound. By the way, there's a reason there's no sound. I had to turn the sound off because I don't want to get copyright claimed. So check it out. Look at her. She's talking about stuff. She's doing her job. She is looking like a professional. And who is that? Oh, that's the Village people. Wonder why am I on a stimulus channel? Why am I showing the Village? Look at the cowboy. Get it, mustache. All right, let's look at this. Apparently Trump has been caught dancing. Pelosi like he needs an evaluation. I mean, he's just cutting a rug. His finger pointing to the music. You guys can't hear it, but the YMCA is playing behind him. Look at his little fist go. Look at him. He's fisted and he's pointing. Oh my God. And here's some, I love seeing our president have fun. He likes to dance. He is a bad A. Let the man have some joy. And I agree. It looks like he's trying to use some type of kitchenware. Hardcore Republican, whopping it up to 40-year-old blank anthems. It's pretty good, guys. I like it. I like it. So I had to show some of this with you guys, and I had to show you some of his dance moves. Oh my God, I love it. This makes me, it just makes me so sincerely happy to see this. Get it, Trump. Okay, guys, here's the other thing. Let's break down some of these dance moves. He does, okay, I know I have an audience full of boomers. I'm going to tell you guys, I love boomers. I love baby boomers. You guys make up my audience, and I love you guys. Let's be honest, though. We have generational gaps, right? And I'm not here to be like, well, who's the best and who's the worst? We all have strong points, and then there are points we suck at, right? And I love these fists because in my family and people that I know who are boomers, they have some go-to moves when it's dancing. And one, they get the fists, the rhythm fists, right? And another one is the pointers. Sometimes if they're really getting into it, they get the pointers and the shoulders going, and I love it. So I love him using the boomer fist. Sound off in the comments, do you have boomer fists or boomer pointers when you dance? By the way, all of you who do, you dance better than I do. Trump is a much better dancer than me, so I'm not knocking anybody. I am that white girl with no rhythm that just stares at everybody else, and I'm like, why is everybody jiggling around? And I was somebody that did like performance and musical theater when I was younger and stuff, but I've never really been a dancer, I guess, per se, but this is really fun. But then I was like, you know what? I gotta be fair. So let's go ahead and let's bring up something else, guys. So I want to preface this. This is just the height of Caucasian winning. Awkward dance. Look at her. She's doing the fist roll, and the other one's just really swaying. Look at this. They're getting down to it. And what do we have here? P-Lo. Look at her. Nancy Pelosi. It's really cute. She's got some shoulders, got a little bit of hips. Oh, okay. They're trying to get into emotion now. Oh, she can't. She can't quite figure it out. Look at her go. You know what, though? She's not a dancer. No disrespect to any of these people. Oh, here's a finger point. She did a point. She did an acknowledgement. Look at it. Oh, okay, so they're doing Stop in the Name of Love. Remember that song from, like, I don't know, 50s or 60s maybe? I would sing a little bit of it, but I'll probably get copyright claimed. But there's Nance cutting a rug, right? And I decided, let's look up one more person. Now, who else can we look at that could be dancing? Who are some of my other favorite people? And you guys know who I'm going to bring up. So I thought, who else could we look at that would be dancing? Who else could do this and cut a rug? And I thought, our curmudgeon. Bam! Yeah, guys. Okay, let me explain. He means, oh, poor Mitch. We've all been there, Mitch. It's all right. I don't like how evil you can be with starving children, but I get it. And now check it out. He needs a little lot. He's like, I want to make darn sure I don't have to get off this. Look, he's got a lot of help and support. Bless his heart. By the way, I say this lovingly, guys, because like I tried to find a video of him dancing. This is the best I could find. And I'm like, well, as he was following, that kind of looks like white people trying to dance. The white people I know. Looks like white people trying to dance. So I had some fun with this. More power to you, Mitch. I'm glad you're all right. And I hope you guys understand, I'm not saying I'm happy about him falling. I'm not trying to make fun of anybody. I just loved this video of Trump doing this and then Nancy just trying to like do it. And McConnell was just like, hey. Without that being said, let's talk BS. Y'all. Okay. Let me rub my magic hair. Let me rub my magic hair. Good luck. Let's talk about stimulus. Like I said, they have been debating, as we know. They came back to talks. Earlier this week, Trump said stimulus talks canceled. The market tanked. Everybody went, what? And then he was like, just kidding, guys. Get it done, Nance. Then next day, a complete role reversal. He and his people are like, we're going to approve the package. Again, it's the worst musical theater you've ever seen, but at least sometimes bad musical theater is good musical theater because it's hilarious. But then a lot of times bad musical theater is just bad musical theater. This is just bad musical theater. At this point, like, I'm just too tired from looking at all this to even be entertained, like, at all. But let's go ahead and talk about this. So Trump said, okay, after the tweet disaster, right? He was like, the tweets hurt around the states. He was like, okay, so let's do this. He said, let's do a bill. I'm going to revise what's there, 1.9 trillion, 1.8, 1.9. That means they're like 300, 400 billion away. So Nancy, as we know, in the House passed a $2.2 trillion bill recently. It's the same HEROES Act, shorter time frames, which makes it skinnier, but not really, because nothing is real when it comes to these people. So where are we at and what is going on? Okay, so we've been waiting to hear from Pelosi because we don't know if she's going to accept it. We don't know if she's taken this. We don't know yet fully what the situation is. So we're all just kind of waiting around going, well, what's happening? Like, some of us were like, are we going to get something done Friday? Because we knew Friday was when Trump had put that out there, and Pelosi on Friday was supposed to meet with Mitch McConnell for a half hour on the phone. And she did. And the big thing we heard was she said, well, my big issue is there's no money for testing, treatment, tracing, all of that type of stuff. And, you know, to her credit, because I give credit where it's due, even though I don't like most of these people, let's give credit where it's due. I was thinking about this earlier because I'd heard this about the fact that it's almost flu season. And I think a lot of us, we've been so cooped up with quarantine in our houses, and this year has been a mess. Does anybody else, like me, not register that we're almost halfway through October? Is anybody else kind of scratching their head going, oh, it's the fall? To me, it's still May or March. Like, it hasn't caught up with me. I'm like, flu season is here. We have nothing in place. This is scary. So I can understand, to an extent, calmly, what she is saying when it comes to all of this, but we finally heard from her. Lord have mercy. Well, first of all, let me give you a quick update. Just a couple days ago, this woman is out there screaming about Donald Trump. She has made something called the 25th Amendment. What is the 25th Amendment? It's all about the mental and cognitive fitness of the President of the United States and being able to evaluate it. And I'm laughing. I'm like, are you preparing for your boy Biden? Like, what are you doing? What? Because everybody's been trying to say that Trump has been erratic and crazy since he left the hospital. And I even said he's made some bonehead moves. He's made some moves that the American people look stupid. But I think it's funny that, like, in the person you're trying to debate and negotiate with, number one, you've already done a failed impeachment with him, which now it's all coming out. You lied, Nancy. You and Hillary and all those people and the CIA, all of you came together and lied to try to take off heat from Hillary and the email debacle. So y'all lied about that, and then you tried to impeach him over a knowing lie. You rip up his State of the Union address, you know, like a mature adult does. And then on top of all of that, when you come back to negotiating, you then try to put a bill into place. So this is what let me tell you what bothers me. Nancy Pelosi didn't spend all of her waking breath trying to make sure the American people have what they need. Oh no. Instead, she took time to write a bill so they could exercise different evaluations on the president's mental and cognitive fitness. She's basically calling Trump crazy. But then again, Nancy and Trump have been calling each other both crazy for how long? Like, he calls her Crazy Nancy. Yeah, these very insulting nicknames for people. So I get it. And I'm not, but and here's the thing. I can hear people saying, well, Trump does it too, so why is it a problem when she does it? It's because she likes to tout that whole sentiment that the kind, tolerant, loving left. With the Republicans, they're evil pieces of crap, and they don't care about us. You get what you get, and you know what you're getting. With them, they act like they care, and they don't. If she cared, she'd be in there doing prison reform, which is the real form of modern-day slavery in the United States. She doesn't care. She only wants to give the appearance that they care about minorities, and the Democrats, in my opinion, don't care about minorities at all. It drives me nuts. I started looking into some of the history, and when I realized that it was the Republicans that actually helped turn our country around a long time ago from slavery, I was like, oh, what's this whole thing about the Democrats? There's a whole lot of real interesting history if you really start to look into more of what happened. And like I said, I feel like many times we don't have the right arguments. We have to reframe the way we look at things and reframe our arguments. Like I've talked about Roe versus Wade. I'm not going to get too much into it, but I've said the argument shouldn't be a woman's right to choose to, do that. It should be that we have better health care so women never have to be in that position, and men should have some responsibility of it too. How about that? We get better healthcare so a woman never has to be in that position to make that decision. So like, we don't frame the arguments correctly. Do you see what I'm saying? And the media loves to do that. They take something, they spin it, they manipulate it, and then they put a BS narrative in front of us, and the whole point, keep us fighting with each other. Because then we have the right, who thinks, how could the Democrats and the women be so evil to want to do that to a baby? Then we have the left that's like, how could the Republicans be so awful and not allow us to be able to do what we need to with our bodies? But nobody's coming together and saying, hey, wait a minute, maybe this is a healthcare issue. I think the left's done that more than the right, but then the left, they parade around like they care, but then they give women poisonous birth controls. Not all birth control is poisonous. Some women need it. Some women take it and they have issues and it helps them, and more power to those women. But for many of us, it has a lot of bad side effects and is not good. It is not good for a lot of us. We should have better options. Better options. That's all I'm saying. Better options that don't make us sick, that don't screw with our hormones. You hear the trope from men, oh, she's crazy, the woman's, well, maybe if we just don't screw up her hormones and we focus a little more on her health and the health of the nation, well, I'll be a little more mentally sound. Isn't it interesting how much more mental illness we now have in our current day when things are supposed to be so much better? But then let's also look at the amount of chemicals that are in our food, the heavy metals, all of that stuff that we didn't used to have, or we didn't used to have in these quantities. I'm just saying, stuff looks interesting. Nance, let's get into it. Nance wrote a letter. Let me take a breath. All right, let's get into this. This is from speaker.gov. This is Nancy Pelosi's website. Let's analyze. Dear colleague, update on virus relief negotiations and the administration's insufficient proposal. Oh, this is going to be good. Released today. Dear Democratic colleague, on Friday, the Trump administration returned to the table with a proposal that attempted to address some of the concerns Democrats have had in the virus negotiations. The proposal amounted to 1 step forward, 2 steps back. When the president talks about wanting a bigger relief package, his proposal appears to mean that he wants more money at his discretion to grant or withhold, rather than agreeing on language prescribing how we honor our workers, crush the virus, as she always says, and put money in the pockets of workers. First of all, girl, you are the one that wants unlimited money to do what you want with your poorly mismanaged run, literally on fire, state, California. I love it. I love her, and I just want to put this out there. And then Kamala Harris is from California. I don't care if you're pro Kamala or Biden or not. My whole point is, why do we have these people at the top, like Pelosi and Kamala, that are from one of the worst mismanaged run states in the country, California, and we're supposed to act like they're great? Your states have been run horribly, and both of you are, especially Nancy Pelosi, but both of you are to blame. Both of you. Drives me nuts. So I just think it's really funny now. She's trying to spin it as though this is on Trump. He says when the president talks about wanting bigger relief package. Well, I think the president does, but he knows, Nancy, that you and the Democrats are being sneaky. Now, here's the thing. The Republicans are evil, don't want to help. Okay? We know that. So don't think I'm just like railing on that I'm a pro-Republican, because I'm not. I'm somebody who's touted democratic socialism on this channel if done correctly. Again, it has to be done correctly. There are all kinds of examples. Venezuela, Cuba, different places where it's a nightmare. Has to be done correctly. And typically it's not. But I think it's funny when people are like, you're a Republican. I'm like, I'm for democratic socialism done correctly. That is as far away from Republican as you can go. But I am most certainly not an extreme leftist. Sure not. Just somebody who tries to like to weigh information, critically think and have common sense. You know, all the stuff that we're not taught in school. By the way, why is it that my generation knows how to square dance, but we don't know how to balance a checkbook or do our taxes? Why aren't we taught any of this stuff? How many times in PE was it like, we're going to learn how to square dance and do-si-do and promenade around the room? Which, by the way, I think promenade is a French word. Promenade. By the way, no disrespect to the French. I actually lived in France. I would go back in a heartbeat. And that's not because I don't love my country. It's just because I love me some France. More than anything, give me the food. Every croissant and baguette available. With their, and then they don't have the same, they do have crap in the food like we do here, but it's not the same. I would go to France any day of my life. I've lived there. I'm so blessed. I've lived in Paris, and then I've also been to the South. I love both. Probably love the South a bit more, but I love both. I love, oh, now I'm getting sad. Anyways, do-si-do. I had to look up, I forgot what it was called, square dancing nights. I was like, what's it called? Do-si-do. So that's what, you guys can't see it, but on here, this is what it says. Do-si-do. Okay, so, by the way, if you see it, yes, I've got a million tabs open on my computer, and it's all stimulus. Almost all of it. I think there's like a couple astrology things because I'm weird, but otherwise it's all stimulus. So, or it's my channel stuff. Okay, so let's continue. Let's get into this letter. Nance. So, and also just a heads up, Trump did say he wants bigger checks. He said a couple times. He said it on a Fox interview, I believe, and then he also said it on Rush Limbaugh. He's like, I want bigger stimulus package and bigger checks. Well, he wants the checks to go directly to us, guys. He wants them to go to us and not so the states can, you know, that are mismanaged can bail themselves out. So it's so funny how she's twisting the narrative. I love it. And she says, at this point, we still have disagreement on many priorities, and Democrats are awaiting language from the administration on several provisions as the negotiations on the overall funding amount continue. A key concern is the absence of any response to a strategic plan to crush the virus. This, I'm not going to knock her for. I can agree with her on this. And we cannot safely reopen schools, the economy, and our communities until we crush the virus with science-based national plan for testing, tracing, treatment, and isolation, and for the equitable and ethical distribution of a safe and effective vaccine once developed. Okay, so I was going to disagree there, but then they changed the language at the, or they put more language at the end. She says to have the vaccine there once it's developed. First of all, oh, Lord have mercy. I'm going to be very careful how I put this because I don't want to get into this argument on YouTube for several reasons. And I can argue both sides of the point. It's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I see both sides of it. I don't even think I'm going to go there. I'm not going to go there with vaccines. I was going to say, like, are we going to have a situation where they try to mandate vaccines, and how is that going to go? And I can already hear the arguments. And here's the thing. I can say that I'm somebody with a compromised immune system that would not be able to do something like this personally. And I just want to make sure that for people like me, there is a system in place because like there was a lot of discrimination about masks. I can't wear a mask. For the issues that I have tried within about 5 minutes, I will pass out because I'm breathing in hot air and my body has a hard time regulating temperature as well as like blood pressure, heart rate, all of these things. So to do anything, and on top of that with the asthma, so to do anything to restrict my breathing more is hard. And I can't tell you how many people were so unsympathetic. They just look at you with disgust and they think that I'm trying to just like assert my civil liberties and stuff. And by the way, if that's what you want to do, it's a free country, you can. For me, it's, hey, and this is my thought process. I'm like, when I pass out here on the floor, are you going to be the one to take me home and track down my boyfriend and get into my cell phone and call him and make sure I'm okay and go to the hospital and make sure they know what's wrong with me because the doctors never know what my conditions are. I have to explain it to them and what I need. You going to do all that? No? Shut up and mind your business. So I have very little tolerance for people wanting to do that. But, you know, it's just, we are so divided as a country that makes me so sad that I just don't want the sick, the weak, or the vulnerable to be compromised as a result. That's all. And that's all I'm saying. So, but because at first it sounded like she was saying, well, we're not going to reopen until we have a vaccine. I'm like, girl, you can't do that. But she's like, once it's created. Oh, okay. Now, if there is a healthy vaccine, it does work for people. Great. More power to them. I just hope there are exemptions for people like me or it could kill me, right? That's all. That's all I'm saying. I just don't want to die. Not yet anyway. Their strategic plan is contained in the HEROES Act. Please see the Energy and Commerce memo, which is attached. So it says there's a plan. I'm going to have to look into this because there is a memo. I'm just going to like do a quick look over as I'm looking at this with you guys. I want to know where she keeps saying the science. Where is the science? I'm just skimming. This is a 2-pager. Right now, I don't see it. I don't really see a bunch of science or any studies or anything she's bringing up or any of where I don't see a breakdown of the funds that are going to be needed where it looks like we have that with McConnell. I trust McConnell more than any of these other people when it comes to like who has the breakdown of what because he doesn't seem to have a dog in this race except he wants to help the American people. But I'll have to dive into a little further. And if you guys have more information in the comments, sound off below. It says, please see the Energy Commerce memo. From start to finish, the Trump administration refuses to honor our heroes and respect the safety of our workforce. The funding for state and local remains, sadly, inadequate. At the same time, the Trump proposal recklessly, she says recklessly, leaves behind workers by ignoring the need for strong OSHA protections to keep our workers safe as they risk their lives and jobs to keep us safe and the economy running. I agree. Also, I guess just nobody gives a crap about hazard pay. To you, hazard pay. On all sides. Everybody's just I think the HEROES Act has some for hazard pay, but it's not great. That's the thing. The HEROES Act is our best shot, and it's not great. It's one-time stimulus. Come on. So, it says, we are urging the administration to support our strong OSHA language, which requires OSHA to issue an enforceable emergency temporary standard within 7 days that covers all workers from the virus infections. Unfortunately, they have a liability provision that is reckless in how it ignores safety in the workplace. She's talking about liability protections for businesses. So the thing with the Republicans and Trump was they were huge on we have to have liability protections, meaning businesses can reopen, and if somebody gets the virus, they can't go and sue those businesses, because a lot of businesses were concerned about that. At this point, the Trump proposal is insufficient in meeting families' needs, in stark contrast to the HEROES Act, which secured tens of billions for direct relief and refundable credits. At the end of the summer, in preparation for restarting of our negotiations, I had previously written to you about what the HEROES Act means for families at their kitchen tables. For a family of 4 earning $24,000, it's direct relief. The HEROES Act, you get a total of almost $10,000 when including the Earned Income Tax Credit and Child Tax Credit. Trump's proposal? Eliminate Earned Income Tax Credit, Child Tax Credit, and Child Dependent Care Tax Credit. Trump also wants to give more per dependent. He wants to go up to $1,000. She's leaving that out. Earned Income Tax Credit, HEROES Act. If the parents lost all their income in 2020, they would receive up to $5,920 in EITC based on their earnings from 2019. Trump's proposal? Eliminate. And I do agree, if parents, they've had to go virtual learning, they need to be able to get something or at least get on unemployment. Something needs to happen there. Child Tax Credit and Child Dependent Care Tax Credit, the HEROES Act. Fully refundable $4,000 for the 2 children, equaling an additional $1,200 in refund. Trump proposal? Eliminate. Child care. The HEROES Act. $57 billion to enable parents to work while their children are in uncertain circumstances of in-person, virtual, or hybrid learning. Trump's proposal. No movement from $25 billion figure, which is totally inadequate. At the same time, Republicans are insisting on a tax benefit for the wealthiest people in America, which is retroactive and therefore not virus-related, at the expense of tax credits for the families of our poorest children who are directly affected by the virus. At a time when children and families are challenged by uncertainty on whether their schools will be actually virtual or hybrid, the Trump administration is underfunding education. So, seemed like they threw in a lot for education, but maybe she's right. I have to look more into this to see. Unemployment insurance. The HEROES Act contains strong funding to protect the 5 million workers at risk of exhausting all of their regular unemployment insurance or pandemic unemployment assistance benefits before January 31st. Trump proposal, $200 billion less than what the Democrats proposed, which experts tell us what is needed. This is where it gets interesting because I think that they were doing 600, so I think maybe that's where she's talking about the 200 billion less. Okay guys, so then below, our HEROES Act is a tribute to the tremendous leadership of Chairwoman Nita Lowey and our committee chairs who once again brought their formidable expertise to assembling a bill that is science, data, and evidence-based. Girl, you can't be screaming science, data when you don't give us any where is it? Sound off in the comments. Has she posted it? Have y'all seen the science and data she keeps talking about? Because I'm just being honest. I haven't. And I've looked a little bit. I mean, not a ton, but a little bit. Sound off in the comments if you have. This woman, I swear. Yes, Trump proposal / billions of dollars from appropriations. You know, Nancy, you could just shave the timing off more and just come down a little bit to meet him. You can't do that, can ya? She just infuriates me. Despite these additional undressed concerns, I remain hopeful that yesterday's developments will move us closer to an agreement on a relief package that addresses the health and economic crisis facing America's families. As I've said before, the devil and the angel are in the details. With over 213,000 Americans tragically having passed, nearly 7.7 million having been infected, and millions having lost jobs and income security, it is long overdue for Republicans to get serious and work with us to defeat this crisis. Crush the virus, as she says. These and other issues are resolvable or unresolved, affect lives, livelihoods, and the life of our American democracy. We hope to make progress soon. Updates will continue to be ongoing. Thank you for your leadership, for America's working families, for the people, for the children. I want to take another quick look, guys, at this memo that she put up earlier. Where'd this memo go? Let's take a look at this. And it says, October 2020, fighting to ensure a safe and effective virus vaccine. Committee on Energy and Commerce says, while President Trump exerts political pressure on the virus vaccine development process, the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, nonetheless, took action to ensure that patient safety and scientific evidence and efficacy will guide its review of potential virus vaccines. Trump and his administration must not interfere with the FDA's regulatory oversight. Now, we've been hearing that Trump is trying to push even beyond what the FDA typically does with testing. So is this saying she's trying to scale it back? Is that what this is? The Committee on Energy and Commerce. Anyways, let's keep going. The Trump administration has failed to develop a comprehensive national virus vaccine plan, threatening the future distribution and equitable allocation of a virus vaccine. To address this, House Democrats have passed comprehensive legislation that requires the creation of a national vaccine plan and $28 billion in funding to develop, manufacture, and promote access to vaccines. Now, Trump the other day said he wants to get that Regeneron. It reminds me of flowers for Algernon. Regeneron to everybody free if they can do it. I don't know what his plan is, and since we don't have any good universal health care or socialized medicine, don't know how he plans to do that. Maybe it's a wild card situation where he'll throw something out of his hat and we'll just have to wait and see. New FDA guidance. After initially being blocked for weeks by the White House, on October 6th, the FDA released guidance outlining the data and information it will need for manufacturers to support emergency use authorization, EUA, for a virus vaccine. I think this is what this is, because he was saying, here we go. I knew I was going to get madder as I looked into this. After initially being blocked for weeks by the White House on October 6th, FDA released guidelines outlining the data and information it will need for manufacturers to support the emergency use authorization. Trump was talking about getting emergency use authorization. Do you remember the other day in the video, that video I played where he talked about Regeneron and wanting to get it to people and doing an emergency use authorization from the FDA and pushing it? That's what this is about. That and probably stricter guidelines for places on PPE and trying to keep workers safe, which that I'm all about. But this seems like horse manure. The EUA, that's the Emergency Use Authorization Guidance, requires that developers follow phase 3 clinical trial participants for at least 2 months after they receive the full vaccine regimen to help assess the risks and benefits of the vaccine, including any adverse events and immune responses before submitting a request for the EUA. It's not that I'm opposed to what this is saying, right? I'm not opposed to it at all. We need to know what we're putting in our bodies and the effect it has, and we don't do nearly enough in this country. It's that I don't think Nancy cares either. I think this is literally just to slap Trump in the face and an attack on Trump. Because all this progress has been made, right, between them trying to get a deal. And here, we're almost there. We're like 400 billion, 300 billion there. We're hairs away now. And she needs to come around and just start slapping people in the face. It's like Trump getting the virus and getting better somehow in her mind. Well, this makes me look bad, so let's say that Trump's doing something evil by trying to get it to people quicker. Okay, girl, if that's the case, then you better have recurring stimulus checks every single month in the heroes bill for us while we wait. How about that? So, it says, the safety monitoring standards included in the EUA guidance make clear that data supporting an EUA request for a vaccine must be more closely evaluated to ensure risks have been uncovered and or mitigated. The standards for an EU are less stringent than the standards for approval, making the safety data even more important. I mean, I can agree with that. Developers benefit from the FDA guidance by having clear standards and a path forward for conducting clinical trials and evaluating their vaccine. Public health experts and researchers also benefit as it provides greater transparency on how vaccines will be evaluated by the FDA, allowing external experts to verify that developers are truly meeting these standards, contributing to the confidence of the American people. And now this is in bold. FDA must be allowed to fulfill its mission to protect public health by ensuring the safety, efficacy, and trust of any future virus vaccine. Now, big bold letters underlined. Any attempt by President Trump and his administration to override or to force manufacturers to prematurely bring a vaccine to market will do catastrophic harm to public health and undermine the American people's trust in the future vaccine. Okay, Nance, I'm not even saying, girl, that I disagree with you. But if that's the case, rewrite the HEROES bill and make sure and put in recurring stimulus checks for the next 6 months to a year while these things are being tested for all of us once a month. Don't worry, we won't wait. This is why I'm mad. See, it's stuff like this because it's like I just feel like I'm seeing through the BS. You say you want to put money into workers' pockets. No, you don't. If you are trying to make it so that we can't get the vaccine or get a cure quickly enough, if you are making it so we have to wait longer, but you're not willing to throw in any more money to help us, when you want bloated money for state and local, you're not helping the workers. House Democrats' legislative action. House Democrats have taken bold action to pass legislation to create a national vaccine plan to ensure vaccines are free of cost sharing and to provide more than $28 billion in funding, which she says free of cost sharing. What does that mean? So I'm going to actually look this up. Cost sharing, here we go. This is from healthcare.gov. The share of costs covered by your insurance that you pay out of your own pocket. This term generally includes deductibles, co-insurance. Hold on, where did it go? There it is. Co-payments or similar charges, but doesn't include premiums, balance amounts for. So Trump is wanting to say he wants to get us a cure for free, and she's saying she wants us to do some type of, sharing program like we typically do with insurance. What you're saying sounds worse than his, Nancy. The HEROES Act, passed by the House in May, requires the creation of a national vaccine plan to distribute and administer the virus vaccines and enhanced vaccine manufacturing capacity. The HEROES Act, passed in May, also ensures that all vaccines are free of cost sharing for all Americans. It says free of cost sharing. Free of. So does that mean they're free? What does that mean? Free of cost sharing. I assume that means we're not going to pay for them or we'll have to pay very little. We'll have to read the language. For all Americans where they're finally available. The updated HEROES Act, passed by the House on October 1st, includes both of these provisions, but also adds new language and $28 billion in funding for virus vaccine development, manufacturing, procurement, and awareness campaigns. It also continues to require a national vaccine plan. $20 billion will be authorized for Secretary of Health and Human Services, the HHS, to provide grants or contracts for development, research, manufacturing capacity, and procurement of the virus vaccines, therapeutics, and ancillary supplies. $7 billion will be authorized for the Secretary to conduct activities to enhance, expand, and improve nationwide virus vaccine distribution and administration. The legislation also requires the Secretary to provide grants to state, local, tribal, and territorial public health departments for procurement of vaccines, ancillary medical products, workforce enhancements, IT and data enhancements, and facility enhancements, such as if there are cold storage needs or outdoor tents for administration. These funds are too important for states, which are required by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, to develop a vaccine plan by October 16th. $1 billion will be authorized for a national evidence-based vaccine awareness campaign, including state and local grants to support vaccine data collection and awareness and activities related to better surveillance of underutilization of vaccines and vaccine hesitancy. So they want to put a plan out there for the people that aren't so keen on a big old vaccine. Trying to word it just right so YouTube doesn't get upset with me, because y'all know how sensitive YouTube can be. My goodness gracious. So let's keep going. Almost done, by the way. The Committee Oversight Action, the Energy and Commerce Committee, continues to demand answers from the administration and to hold them accountable for their continued attempts to politicize the vaccine development process. Oh, and there's a list. In May 21st, bipartisan letter to White House Virus Task Force Coordinator Deborah Birx, the committee urged the administration to develop a comprehensive virus vaccine plan. The committee reiterated the importance of ensuring any vaccine made available is both safe and effective in an oversight hearing on July 21st to a panel of vaccine manufacturers engaged with Operation Warp Speed, OWS. It sounds like Star Wars. Committee leaders committee leaders again, not against, again, demanded answers and stressed vaccine distribution, logistics, and equitable allocation concerns in a letter to Dr. Birx and just every H you want, HHS Secretary Azar on August 5th, followed by a letter to FDA Commissioner Hahn on August 24th, urging that science and not politics guide the virus vaccine authorization and approval process. Girl, I haven't heard you say squat about vaccines. All I've heard is state and local, state and worker, do a state and local, right? Transportation, sanitation, teachers. That's all we've heard from her. So I think it's funny now that we're this close. Now all of a sudden it's, we need a vaccine and a cure, but we don't want what Trump does. I'm sorry. Now that Trump has gone through something where he's actually maybe finding a way to help people, not saying that's the case, but maybe now she's got to just squash that narrative. That's just what it looks like to me. In September, committee leaders demanded a briefing for the CDC Director, Robert Redfield, on its notification to states that they be prepared to distribute a potential vaccine by November 1st. And the last one, on September 23rd, the committee held an oversight hearing on consideration for the development and distribution of a safe and effective vaccine that American people can trust. There you go. So Nancy decided, instead of trying to come together and really crush the virus and get something going for us, she took this time to slap President Trump and everybody else in the face when they are so close to getting something done for us, because apparently this is what needs to take place right now. I don't really have much more to say. Like I said, I started this video fed up and I'm ending it even just more disgusted, more disturbed by these people. This is beyond frustrating. Get it done. Get in there and get it done. All of you. I'm embarrassed. Like when you guys hate Trump so much and everything you do makes Trump look good, even when he's doing dumb stuff, y'all are on the wrong path. Get it together and help us, or guess what? It's going to be election time soon. Get these people out. Get them out. Mitch McConnell, Pelosi, all of them, both sides, out. Get them out. Let's get some people in there who actually want to help and can make real change. If you like this video and you're as frustrated as I am, please give me a big thumbs up, like the video, subscribe if you haven't, hit notifications so you can be notified daily what's coming on the pipeline for you and your stimulus money. Y'all, I'm done. I am done. Hold on, let me get back. You can be notified when I upload stimulus videos. And sound off in the comments, guys. Leave as many comments as you want. Tell me everything. Every comment helps me build this channel. Share this content with as many people as you can so I can help as many people as possible. With the content I have, I've got lots of tools and resources to help people. Guys, the more you like, subscribe, comment, hit notifications, share the content, the more my channel grows, the more I can do things to give back to you guys. I just gave away a $100 gift card, and I'm ready to do it again. We just have to build this channel. If you guys can, and you guys have been such a blessing. You guys are just hard on the likes, hard on the comments. Like, I couldn't ask for a better audience. If you can please, if you feel called to, continue to help me with this. The more we can get this channel up, rising, and rolling, the more I can start to give back and do those gift cards. And I can't wait to be able to be of service to you all. Find me on Facebook, Katie's Insight, like the page. Join the group, Katie's Corner, which will be Katie's Insight soon. So if you can't find Katie's Corner, look up Katie's Insight. Go on there, ask all the stimulus questions you want. We'd be happy to help you. Okay, guys, video is way too long, as always, so I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for listening to my insight on all these situations. I'm sending you guys so much love, lots of hugs, and until next time, which will probably be tomorrow, we're just going to continue to show you the insanity and ridiculousness of all of these people, and hopefully they'll finally step up and help us. Take care.